right, the threading is all done, the reed is all finished, and I think I forgot to say last time to make sure you put little loops in there so you can make sure that if your reed would fall out, you didn't lose all of that wonderful threading you just did. All right, we are going to start. Make sure that that's wrapped around the right way here. Let's pull this all the way out so we have where we need it. All right, I'm going to wind it a little bit closer just so it's hanging down there. And I might need to release some more of this so I have enough to tie this on. There we go. And I'm going to do this in a couple of sections. I'm going to now untie one group. I'm going to take this one and I'm going to do it in half. I'm going to do what we call a square knot, kind of an overhand. So what I kind of do a loop like that, and then it's going to be right over left, or excuse me, I did the opposite way, right over left. There we go. So I have the one side done. It's kind of loose right now because I want to make sure I have it tighter in a moment. I'm going to do the other side. I'm going to do the same thing. We're going to take this and take it approximately in half. Same thing. This is the same way that I thread or I tie on when I'm doing on the floor loom. Everyone has their way of doing things. So we have it like that. And I'm going to do the middle one. Since this is going to be warp faced, I'm not as concerned about how many groups or bundles that I'm having. I'm going to move just a little bit farther here, tighten it up a little bit, and I'm going to do typically like I normally do is I'm going to do the center, and then side and side, and do it again. Make sure it's nice and tight. Also make sure that when you're doing that, it's fairly straight, and when you start to wind on here, it's going to wind around. It's not going to be sticking out on one side or the other. So I have that all nice and tight. Now I'm going to do the other knot on the top. And before you do all the tightening of all your knots, make sure that you have all of this threaded. I did have a threading error. I had an extra thread in one of the slots, so I did have to move all of them over again. All right, so this is what we have here. So right now I'm just gonna go back and forth a little bit to make sure that it's open. So it is. I'm gonna put it back in the rest position, and next I am going to show you how to wind your shuttle. All right, so now I have the shuttle here. You can see this one has a beveled edge here, and this is round here. It's kind of a, not sharp, but it's not as, this is round and this is not. This one also has a little notch in it. Now I used in the warp was 3/2 cotton. This is 5/2, it's not as heavy. What I normally do is I kind of set that down somewhere. And next thing I do is I like the little notch in there because I can kind of get it started on that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to wind the warp as a figure 8. If you can see that or not. What I'm doing is building all of the yarn up on the top of on the edge, on the one edge, but it's not going to be thick in here. I'm only going to do a few of those right now. So I have that much done, and then I will need to cut it. Got to reach over here to get my scissors. And now that's ready to start weaving, and that's my next step. All right, I'm going to push everything in the middle because that's what I want. I want it all to be in the middle. I've already, like I said, made sure that that's okay, but what I'm going to do is not use the reed as a beater. This is my beater. And I'm going to start like I typically would. I put the shuttle through. I'm going to kind of push that down, making sure that's over. And I'm going to take the edge, the selvage, and wrap it around. Now you also notice I'm using black because black is on the edge. All right, now I said I'm not going to use this as my beater. I'm going to move that down. And now I'm going to put the shuttle in, and that's my beater. And I'm really pulling it down, and I can tug a little bit on there. Now, the first couple shots are going to be kind of hard to see. My goal is not to have any of this show at all. So the black will not show. At the very beginning, you always get stuck around that edge there. Well, we don't want to get around that either. So I need to make sure, there we go. So I'm going to do the angle like I typically would, but I'm going to take the reed and go up. And like I said, put the shuttle in there, pull it down, and I'm really going to kind of tug that through a little bit. Again, like I said, I'm trying to hide this thread here. So we go back, trying to keep my hands out of the way. A little bit of a tug. Again, go all the way down, using this as my beater. One little thread doesn't want to go up and down. There we go. Pull it all the way through. And again, angle like that. And we're going to go up. And you can even pull a little bit tighter again. Push that all the way down. If you need to, tug on that a little bit. The hardest thing is to try to keep this width even the whole way. I'm going to do it again. Tug it through there, all the way down. Like I said, I have one little thread that's going to be a little persnickety there. All right, I go here, push that down, and again I can pull a little bit, and go back the other direction. I'll do it one more time, back the other way. Again, I can even pull a little bit snug there. Pull that down. The other thing is sometimes this unwinds. If it unwinds, just kind of wind it up a little bit. And we'll go the other direction. Tug it. And go down. And again, really, I like the two sides on this. I can really pull it back, and then we'll go back the other way, and we'll keep going until the whole pattern is finished. Actually, I'm going to zero in on it so you can see it. There you go.